My name is Stephen Lee, and I'm president of George Mason University, Korea. On behalf of GMU Korea, I'm extremely proud to be the co-host of such a distinguished gathering this morning and to be part of an important event that is of great relevance for us all. The institution that I represent is part of the global university concept involving similar institutions from around the world. Located in Incheon Global Campus in Songdo, GMU Korea and the other 3 universities collectively serve well over 1,000 students from literally dozens of countries around the world. George Mason University Korea, as you may know, is a global campus of George Mason University located in Northern Virginia in the United States. George Mason University is the largest institution of higher education in the Commonwealth of Virginia, the only one state in the entire state to have 2 Nobel Prize winners on its faculty and one of the fastest and most diverse universities in the entire nation. GMU Korea opened its campus in the spring of 2014, merely 2.5 years ago, with just 34 students. There are now more than 350 students this semester, making us the fastest growing university in the entire country. Our students come from over 25 countries, and our faculty are drawn from half a dozen countries. To me, the answer is obvious. I look around at all of you, and I see individuals with a daring similar to that possessed by Edison. You have devoted much of your adult lives to the concept of enterprise, to trade, to providing goods and services, to growth, to advancing the foundation on which our societies exist. In many ways, you are among the pioneers of our time. This gathering represents an example of your curiosity, your itch to tinker with what exists, with the idea that perhaps such an effort might help improve the lives of those with whom and for whom you work. Sure, you think by exploring potential business opportunities, you might raise your profit level, but more than that, it might elevate the lives of your family and friends and colleagues and neighbors and the world. After all, is that not what business is all about? Is it not the essence of coming together with others to seek out and ultimately identify ways to raise all ships? Is that not the very definition of globalization we have come to know? I believe this to be a common denominator that links all of us. You are in business, you are in public service, I am in education. Yet underneath those labels, we are all bridge builders, or at the very least, strive to be. It is my hope that one result of this gathering this morning is that all of us will walk away with additional tools and allies to build better, stronger, and more lasting bridges. I share and applaud your quest. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor that I introduce to you a dreamer, much in the spirit of Thomas Edison, the governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, the Honorable Terry McAuliffe. Thank you.
Come on, you do better than that. Good morning. Let's give Stephen Lee a great round of applause for the great work that he does. Boy, Thomas Edison, I feel pretty good. Let me say, first of all, it's great to be back in Korea. I have been here probably over 30 times in my life. I first came in 1993. I was President Clinton's first ambassadorial appointment when they were trying to figure out the Daejeon Expo here after President Clinton got elected, and received a phone call from then newly President Y.S. Kim. He dispatched me, so I actually lived over here in Korea for about a year. So it was a great honor to be back. I now come back as the 72nd governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. The rest of you have not lived. You should all be doing business in Virginia. We also have Dulles International Airport. Contrary to public perception, it is not in Washington, D.C. You do not fly to Washington, D.C. at Dulles. You fly to Virginia. It is 26 miles inside the Virginia border. Direct flights, we have 565 international flights a week, servicing about 56 international countries. So we have airfare, We have the deepest port on the East Coast, so if you're trying to expand your business, Virginia is the place to be. We are one of the lowest tax states in America, and we're considered the most business-friendly regulation state in America. We have more data centers than any state in the United States of America. Microsoft, Amazon, all have built gigantic data centers. Yesterday we were in Japan, and NT just announced their third million-square-foot data center in Virginia. We are leading the nation in cybersecurity, 565 cybersecurity companies in Virginia. We have the second most number of technology workers of any state in America. And one of the reasons is we have percentage the most military assets of any state in America. 27 military installations, the Pentagon, Central Intelligence Agency, and the largest naval base in the world in Norfolk, Virginia. So far this year, Virginia has had 53 million cyber attacks. We have blocked 47,000 malware. That is an attack every 4 seconds. That is 300,000 attacks per day. That is just the state of Virginia. And as I mentioned earlier, with the Pentagon, the CIA, the home base of the Marine Corps of the United States at Quantico, Langley Air Force Base, Oceana, all of those assets, we have a special role in Virginia to protect our defense, intelligence, and economic interests. So we are leading the country. I have spent millions of dollars to build the protections that we need for our state to make sure we have the firewalls in place to stop these kinds of attacks. And of the 53 million, not one yet has been able to penetrate our system. But we are only as strong as our weakest link. So 50 states in America, if Virginia does a great job, but let's hypothetically, I don't mean to pick on them, let's take Montana. If Montana has the same health care provider as Virginia, let's say Anthem, and we have the protections, but Montana or Missouri or another state, if they don't, they will get into Virginia through a back door through our health care provider. That's why I'm making sure that all 50 governors are doing this. The second, economic development. There are millions of jobs that will be created in America on cybersecurity. The federal government will spend billions and billions of dollars. Private sector will spend billions and billions of dollars. I want all that business in Virginia. That is why we have today 565 cyber companies. We are leading the nation on cyber today. So if you're thinking of starting a cyber company, you're going to go to a state that has the workers that can work on your cyber business. I'm the only state that if you will go into and get a cyber degree as a student coming out of high school, all you need is a 2-year degree. If you're willing to go and get a cyber degree, we at the state will pay for your college education. Only state doing that. And we're ensuring that every one of my universities, community colleges, all 23 of my community colleges and all of my institutions of higher ed are called centers of excellence. A designation by the federal government. If you're teaching X number of courses with X number of professors, you will become a center of excellence. I want to be the first state in America that will have every one of our institutions of higher ed or centers of excellence teaching it. So cyber, big data, human genomics, all the protein, all of that is happening in Virginia. So all of you here, listen to me. Forget those other 49 states. Virginia is your future. You know, the last couple of years is where, since I got elected governors, we put a real push on Korea, as I say. Korea always has a little special place in my heart because I lived here and have had such a fond affection working with the folks from Korea. In fact, the foreign minister just came to Virginia to have lunch with me the other day. But I'll get you the exact number. But we incentivize every business that comes. You're going to create X number of jobs. You will get investments from the Commonwealth Opportunity Fund. In addition, we'll give money for job training. So we are very competitive with all the states for economic incentives if you're willing to come to Virginia. But we're very competitive on, the other thing I would tell you, very low taxes, very low electricity costs. So if you're in manufacturing with our port, 65% of America's population lives within a day's drive of Virginia. So you can get your goods to all over America. 2 major railways. Let me just say finally, I thank you for coming to breakfast, and You know, the United States of America, a great country, and we do have 50 great states. I have fun with them. We're all competitive, but you know, they all have their unique qualities and characteristics. My argument to you here today is Virginia is a dynamic state with very low taxes, very business friendly, low electricity costs, deepest port on the East Coast, close to the federal government. So we have so many different assets and a great education system. So I would hope that you would consider, if you're thinking of investing or even coming to visit, to come to the Commonwealth of Virginia. And I really appreciate all of you for being here today. And let me finally say, I want to thank our translator because she had one tough job today, and I think she did a magnificent job.